Some thoughts on Psalm 3. We will read in the prefix that this is a Psalm of David. It's a Psalm of David written in difficult times, because we are told it's when he fled from Absalom, his son. It's when Absalom, his son, was marching forward to take over the kingdom. The one who was so close to him, his very own son, has moved forward to usurp the authority that David had, and the kingdom crumbles around David and things are not good. And then we read in verses 1 and 2 about how David responds. He says, "Oh Lord," and immediately we've got a lesson for ourselves, haven't we? As we see that the first thing David does is praise. He turns to his Lord. He turns to the Lord, who is the one who loves him. Think of the word Lord there, capital letters in the ESV, reminds us that this is the term Jehovah, the eternal, everlasting God who commits to his people, who takes an interest in his people. It's the covenant word of God working to intervene for the benefit of his people. It is ultimately most profoundly fulfilled in Jesus Christ coming as God from God to bless his people. But David is turning to the Lord, and he's observing the many foes that are against him. And what is being said to him, that they're saying there is no salvation for God in him. They're saying that the circumstances demonstrate that he's a write-off before God, and everything is in turmoil for him. Selah, what do you think about this? And we think this is not a very good situation, such hostility, such difficulty. But what does David do? David hangs on to facts that he has experienced from God. And so he will say, "But you, O Lord," there is a but amidst the collapsing circumstances of life. There is always a but with God. "But you, O Lord," because the but, in a sense, is God himself. "But you, O Lord, you who are committed to me, are a shield about me." He has that thought about protection, his glory. "You are my glory. You are the one who has worked to bring me into this beautiful situation, that I am a child of God." It's not a glory of ourselves, it's a glory that is of God, and the lifter up of my head. David has known this in his journey through life, that God intervenes. The Lord intervenes to lift him up. So we see that amidst all the swirling circumstances of life, David takes hold of the realities that he knows and stabilizes himself. Verses 1 and 2, everything's in turmoil. Everything is bewildering. What are we to do when we're in circumstances like that? Because they come to us as well. We are to take our stand on the facts that we have experienced. And David then cries aloud. There's a sense of firm assurance. He cries aloud to the Lord, and he answered me from his holy hill. When there is this, we might say, scripturally based assurance, we can be assured that God will be answering. He will be responding from his holy hill, his special dwelling place on high. Our God is a God who's interested in our Selah. What do we think about that then? Having been with all of the instability of verses 1 to 2, we see verses 3 and 4, this stabilizing. David has, as it were, taken hold of his soul before God. And so he can, verse 5, he can lie down and sleep and be awoken again, for the Lord sustained him. It's a wonderful thing, isn't it? This is almost a supernatural sleep. When everything is disturbed in our situations, one of the things that's very often taken away from us is sleep, isn't it? Stress, anxiety, just overwhelmed And circumstances will not give us this, but God can give us this. You know, there is obviously issues as regards to the struggles that many have with sleep, but just this general principle in verse 5 of calmness, of that peace that comes when we've got God right at the center of these things. Just to be clear here, it's no indication that the circumstances have changed, but David's journey through the circumstances have changed as he's got himself stabilized in God, and God has worked into his situation. So he can affirm in verse 6, I will not be afraid of many thousands of people who have set themselves against me all around. Just a different color to this, isn't it, compared to verses 1 and 2? You know, it seems almost a lost cause in verses 1 and 2, but David now says, "No, I will not be afraid." God is always bigger than our problems. God is always bigger than our problem. So he says, verse 7, "Arise, O Lord, save me, O Lord. For you strike all my enemies on the cheek. You break the teeth of the wicked." It's as if, going back to verses 1 and 2, the enemies were saying, "You're on the wrong side, David. Circumstances prove you're on the wrong side. There's no salvation with you." And David has worked it through, and he knows now that he's not on the wrong side. These enemies are on the wrong side. They're on the wrong side with God. And if you're on the wrong side with God, you're on the wrong side. And so, salvation for David, save me, O Lord. May I experience your salvation, but damnation for his enemies who are against him. These hard statements are an indication of that. They're in the wrong place, ready to be stricken by God, have their teeth broken. So we come finally to verse 8. Salvation belongs to the Lord. Your blessing be beyond your people, Selah. And there's something emerging here as David is now embracing the people of God. Your blessing be upon me. No, your blessing be upon your people. I'm part of a people who are blessed in the Lord, by the Lord, because salvation belongs to the Lord. And he grants salvation to the people who are knowing the Lord as the Lord, the covenant Lord. So what do you think about that? Selah. Indeed, what do we think about the wonder of the Lord's salvation and the blessing of the Lord upon his people? So that's some thoughts on Psalm 3.